Hello, Chris. Welcome to the comments for the character essay. So just remember in your header itself, you just want to put your last name and page number. That's the only thing that's missing from the new computer. Let me get all the things going here. So that's really the only thing that's missing for proper MLA format. Now, in terms of the title, right, so the title should actually have a specific argument rather than just a vague, like, character development. So we'll take a look at that. And then difference between British English and American English. American English, you have the punctuation within the quotation marks, just like you do here. So you keep maintaining that format. But you'll see both, but that's really the difference. American English has punctuation within the quotes, like this, and then British English has it after. Yeah, so in this case, right, so instead of being, again, that kind of passive seems, to use, to try, to influence, right? So here, right, and we don't want to focus on many of the themes, right? So in this case, right, we could hold off and, focus down on just the essentials, right? So Willie goes through a midlife crisis. Instead of or, like, and has trouble, knowing self due to identity crises. Again, here, which Melchior uses to convey blank. Then, instead of saying there's another character Melchior acknowledges through the stories you're supposed to foil, right? Just say, and then, to Willie named Hank, right? Notice how all you need to say here is Hank as a foil, right, to Willie. Angers him, causing him to do whatever he can to sabotage him, right? Or because I see, causing Willie, yeah, to do whatever he can to sabotage him or stop his horrible deed, right? So, judging from all the events that happened in the story between the two characters, so again, same thing, like, that's an audience thing, right? So, in this case, what you want to do is just focus on here, right? Melchior reveals that human nature is that some people are willing to do anything to get their way, whether it leads to them to fame, success, money, like Hank, and some people want the same thing but aren't willing to put others in harm's way, right? Perfect, right? To gain success, right? The right way, right? So, excellent, right? Yeah, so actually, honestly, this part should actually be in the conclusion, right? Because that stands as a good kind of thesis. So this part actually should really kind of be a focal point on your conclusion, because it's a really good way of adding to the idea. So we'll hold off that for later. So in this case, you could just kind of cap it off at here with the thesis. Now, in this case, again, it's that getting their own way, right? So this should focus on your thesis, right? Should reflect your thesis about human nature, right? So that would be an important aspect to add to your title. Yeah, so yeah, this is definitely way too much summary here. Yeah, because here you're basically all summary points. Yeah. Yeah, so what you want to do is, like, you could focus on, because we don't need any of this backstory here, right? Based on what you're focusing on. What you want to do is here. So like this should be the first topic sentence. So Melchior, so here, instead of this shows, right? And we could kind of pinpoint, right, what you're doing over here, right? So like Melchior uses Willie to show, right, that people can change for the better no matter what, right? So now, you could kind of keep the sense, like, unlike Hank, Willie's a little bit more kind-hearted and self-conscious about what his action, about how his actions affect others, especially when it involves taking people's life, right? But here, we don't really need this part, right? What you would want to do is, like, we could get this part out. Focus on this particular incident. Mural, go back to the text, be a little bit more specific here, right? And instead of trying to focus on all the different kind of aspects, right? Just focus on just focus on Muriel, right? And you save these elements for another. Notice that kind of as well, right? Save it for another paragraph and expand, right? So here, right, you could expand each point. Actually, let me. And so that would be a good way. And here you have however, and then on the other hand, double transition. All you need is however, right? And for the so for the end of your paragraphs here now, you want to. Oh, geez, I lost my mouse here. There you go. You want to analyze each subtopic point, right? What's meaningful about how Muriel and the old lady and all that help, bring about change. Why? And again, here's where you want to refocus on Melchior, the author, and then analyze here, right? What's important about that. And then we go to the section on Hank, right? Yeah, so here, so that's again summary based. If this part is starting to move into analysis, it's a good transition, but then here you're now more focused on summary. So now you refocus on the author. Right? Go back to your thesis, echo it, right? Not every sentence has to be, analysis has to be back to that human nature, but this is a good way of, again, reconnecting to your thesis because now you have specific points you could analyze about the nature of, humanity because you have it here. And so you don't need to keep on repeating it in every section, but especially now that you switched to Hank, you want to kind of refocus your attention. And here, again, now you're focused on this, yeah, and so here you don't really need to focus on this part. What you want to focus on. Yeah, because if you were going to focus on a little bit more of kind of duality, this would work if you're going to focus on duality, but actually you want to shy away from that because that would be a separate essay. So, like, yeah, so actually you could really start here, right? So, like, due to Hank's desperate need to succeed, he accuses Willie of this, and then we could kind of, happen here, right? And again, be careful of words like things, conversational dictionary. And again, here's where you would want to put, the text, show dialogue, right? Yeah, so in this case, right, you want to, again, focus on this part in the conclusion. Here you want to analyze, right? And so here we could look at your conclusion. So like Melchior is trying to show, and maybe we could keep both. Maybe this could become our conclusion. So Melchior is trying to show that although human instincts for fame and glory are strong in human nature, there will always be those who are willing to change for better. Great topic sentence argument. Meanwhile, Hank, so yeah, in this case we don't need meanwhile. Hank is more of a self-centered, like he doesn't care to win. Leading consequences of Will about talking to others. Willie is more sympathetic, right, to others, while Hank is crazy, greedy, and downright cruel, right, showing they are complete opposites. Good. Yeah, because like this now becomes very repetitive. So here, this would be good, right? Yeah, because now, yeah. Yeah, so notice how, yeah, this is more of a repetition, right? So this kind of idea is kind of repetitious because you already started here. Now, what you want to do then is, where is the meaning, the significance, the universal message here? So in this case, right, you could talk about, okay, so like here, how so this would be a good way of bringing into a little bit of new direction at the end, right? So how is this universal? How are these two, opposites relevant today, right? What's happening? So that would be the kind of key issue here, is making sure that you kind of just expand it a bit rather than repeating ideas. Oh, yeah, so minor thing. So it's just regular font size and all that. Oops. And then you wouldn't repeat, it would just be the racer. And the racer wouldn't be in italics, it would just be in quotes. And then that's fine. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so let's recap. You have a clear thesis, you have a clear focus, which is great. The major thing, and you even brought this up in class, the major thing is you're still kind of, not so much with Willie, but with Hank, you are including more summary details than you need. And then for the Willie passages, you basically want to focus on, okay, analyzing a little bit, kind of direct quote, but also analyzing the meaning of these moments. With Hank, you want to refocus on your detail here, right? So like focus only on the evil elements. Again, this would be a separate essay. If you want to focus on duality of humankind, sure, that would work, but not for the thesis you're establishing. You want to just focus on his evil ways that connect back again to the thesis you have going. But again, there's a lot of good, clear comparisons. There's a lot of good understanding of the characters. There's just ways that you could enhance and really develop a lot of your argumentation, right, out further. And that's the kind of key element here. Obviously, if you have questions, though, email, keep doing what you're doing, ask me in class, all that. If not, just good luck with all the other assignments and take care. Oh, my new computer is not a touchscreen anymore. Okay. Oh, that's too bad. All right. Good to know. All right. Take care, Chris.